Hello. So today I am going to talk about the whole voice and what that means to me, and the way in which we can address issues that go on with the voice from any point on the physical, emotional, intellectual, psychological continuum. But first, just to give people a little bit of time to get on board, I'm going to talk about how it is for me when I sit here waiting to go live. It's like going on stage and waiting in the wings. And I have many years' experience as an actor, and that is one of the most familiar experiences for me. And this relates to voice as well. That feeling you have when you're going to go on and you're thinking about, how do I look? That's often where I go. I go to how do I look, because it's actually the least important thing about my performance. It's the one that I find even easier to think about than, oh my gosh, am I going to do a good job? So Sonia, thank you for joining us. The whole voice can be addressed in many different ways, and I know that Sonia has, who is watching now, a little bit of experience with this. Have you ever had a time when you felt your throat closing up when you were speaking? You might go very dry if you have anxiety when you're speaking, or even start closing up when you're talking about something and you actually have no idea. You're not aware of the feelings behind it. Or you might be about to speak and there's a very strong voice, another one of the whole voice is all the voices in our head, saying, no, don't say that. No, you can't say that. And this will be happening probably because you've had a bad experience before when you showed up to speak your truth. And this could be for a number of reasons. It could be family of origin experiences. It could be your experience with racism or sexism. It could be to do with classism and your perceived level of education and how you've been treated. So these are just some of the many things that can come up. And so dealing with voice can feel like Pandora's box. But the wonderful thing is you do not have to address the whole voice in just one way. So if you're psychologically aware of why you're having the experience you're having, you can, great, you've got it sus psychologically, but your throat's still closing up and your voice isn't come out. So then we can deal with it through exercise. We can deal with it spiritually. We can deal with it physically. We can deal with it through breath. We can deal with it through body work. So these are just examples. And then when you start to have more freedom in the voice, that feeds back to your psychology. You have a better experience. And now you have turned a vicious cycle into a victorious one. So that's just one example. We don't always need to address the issue head on. And in fact, that has limited benefit. Did you know that there is a direct relationship between the pelvic floor and the throat? And if you think about it in the most basic physiological terms, that makes perfect sense. Working with a pelvic physical therapist, as I have done, I have discovered that she will often talk about using the breath, not just to relax the pelvic floor, but also to relax the throat, so that when we relax the throat, the pelvic floor can relax. Conversely, if you're finding you have a lot of tension in your throat, checking in with your breathing, and on the in-breath, allowing that in-breath to sort of, because the diaphragm comes down when we breathe in, your tummy can come out, allowing that in-breath to really massage the pelvic floor can help you release the throat. So we can start at either end of the spectrum. Please do post any questions you have about this or experiences you've had with this that you'd like to share. It's really helpful for other people to see that many of the challenges with the voice are not only common, really common in fact, but there is a remedy to them. And I will see you here next week on Wednesday, and here's to unlocking your performance power this week.